However, whenever it comes to asking you, based on the limiting reactant, how many grams of something that was produced, then in that particular case, that's when you have to use the limiting reactant to then convert it to one of the products. Okay? That's when you go the extra mile, so to speak. Number 3. All right. Look at the problem. Okay, now while you guys are looking at it, I'm going to write some steps off to the side for 3. Okay, so this is what I wrote over here as the steps that we're going to take. So now, for this particular problem, since we're doing number 3 now, I just wrote the steps for 3A just to get you guys started, okay? So for 3A, it says, now again, let me zoom into the problem so y'all can see that. Okay, ignore all this other stuff. We don't care about the production of copper and what it did to get there. We just need to look at the problem to make sure it is balanced, which it is, and then convert the grams of copper to sulfide and oxygen. Okay, convert those because it says which reactant is limiting. Now, what you don't want to do is go by the smallest number in grams, okay? That's going to steer you wrong. The only way that you're able to find the limiting reactant is by converting it to the moles. That's the only way, okay? That is the only way. Now, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so that you all can see me do the steps here for number 3A. And I also already have the molar mass for these compounds, so I won't actually show that extra step there, okay, because I already have that for you. So let me go ahead and scoot this down so we can go ahead and have some space here. All right, so for 3A, you're going to take that 100 grams of copper 2 sulfide, right? And you're going to convert that to a mole of copper 2 sulfide. Now, the molar mass of copper 2 sulfide is 95.61. Okay? Make sure that you all, go back and redo these calculations also for yourself. Okay? And again, I'll put the answers up here in a minute. I'm just setting it up so you all can do this as well. You're going to do the same thing for oxygen. You've got 56 grams of oxygen that you're going to convert to a mole. All right? So again, I've got the molar mass of oxygen on the very bottom. Again, you're going to cancel out your like units and just go ahead and plug these numbers into your calculator. So you've got 100 divided by 95.61, and we get 1.05. Okay, 1.05 moles of copper 2 sulfide. You're going to do the same thing for oxygen. And I can already tell that this is going to give us our numbers rather quickly. We get 1.75 moles of oxygen. And now we see copper 2 sulfide is the limiting reactant. So, as you guys can see, we are done with letter A. The limiting reactant is copper 2 sulfide. Now, you know what? If you would have chosen oxygen, for instance, guess what? If you all would have chosen the 56 grams of oxygen because that number is smaller than copper 2 sulfide, you would have gotten this problem wrong. So this is why you have to go through the steps of converting the grams to a mole, and that's how you know which one is your limiting reactant. Okay? Now, for part 3B that we did not do, it says, what mass of copper 2 oxide can be formed from the reaction of 18.7 grams of copper 2 sulfide and 12.0 grams of oxygen? So y'all, part B is the same thing for parts like we did in part A. They just want to know what's the mass of copper 2 oxide once we convert these grams right here to a mole, okay? So once we convert the given grams in the problem to a mole, Then we're going to convert that limiting mole to the gram of copper 2 oxide. And we will need our balanced equation for part B. All right? We will need our limiting reactant for part the second half of that problem. All right? Okay, yes, we're on 3. So, yes, I got it. Okay, I'm going to write the steps to 3B, okay, off to the side, but I zoomed in so you all can see the problem, okay? So I'm going to write the steps for 3B. All right, so these are your steps right here, okay? Yep, grams to moles, that's right, that's right. You're going to take the 18.7 grams of copper 2 sulfide to a mole, basically the same thing that we did earlier. We're given these steps previously, but now we're dealing with 2 new numbers, okay? And you still don't want to assume that this time oxygen would be the limiting reactant. You don't want to assume that just because the number is small, okay? Now, you're going to, and then whichever one of these is the smallest, you're going to then convert that mole to a mole of copper oxide, then to a gram of copper oxide, okay? So now, here we go. We already had the numbers from before, so we have 18.7 grams of copper 2 sulfide times, and again, remember 1 mole of copper 2 sulfide over that 95.61, okay, grams of copper 2 sulfide. And you're going to do the same thing for oxygen. You've got 12.0 grams of oxygen times 1 mole of oxygen divided by 32. Whoops. Okay, 32 grams. And now, again, y'all know the routine. Cross out the units you no longer need, and then plug this into your calculators, okay? You're going to take the 18.7, and you're going to divide that by the 95.61, and you get 0.195 or 0.196 moles of copper 2 sulfide, okay? And then 12 divided by the 32.00, and you get 0.375. Okay, y'all remember when I said don't get tricked into thinking that the smallest gram is going to give you your smallest limiting reactant? Because look at these numbers now. Copper 2 sulfide in this particular case is the limiting reactant, okay? Okay, now, since we know that the 0.196 moles of copper 2 sulfide is the limiting reactant, look at the question again, okay? Because I know we forgot what the question was asking us, right? It says, what mass of copper 2 oxide, for part B, what mass of copper 2 oxide can be formed from one of these limiting reactants? So we do need our balanced equation, but here's the only thing that we do need. Since we're working with copper 2 sulfides, because that's the limiting reactant, and the copper 2 oxide, you see those 2 and 2s? I'm going to write those down here for this next part of the step, okay? So I'm going to use those coefficients, and I have 2 moles of copper 2 oxide, 2 moles of copper 2 sulfide. I then need to convert that copper 2 oxide to a gram of copper 2 oxide, okay? Now, y'all do know you need the copper 2 oxide's molar mass, right? So in case you haven't gotten that, you do need the molar mass, which is 79.55 grams, okay? Again, cancel out the units you don't need anymore. And just like that, here it is. 15.7 15.6 is the answer. 15.6 grams of copper 2 oxide is the answer.